Continuing the conversation on finding overlay scans, we're going to take a look at volume today. Specifically, we're going to look at what's called the on balance volume, which is the cumulative volume over a period of days. So it's not going to look at the daily, but it's going to look at, let's say, over 10 days, for example, which is what we'll do today. What has been the total cumulative volume? Has it been positive or negative, right? And to see if it's positive or negative, we're actually going to look at the slope. We want the slope to be greater than 0 because that tells us that it's a net positive. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And for this one, we want the type as stock, and we want to look at slope. So we want the slope to be greater than, we'll look at it over 10 days, and we want it to be on the on balance volume, and we want it to be greater than 0. Right. Okay, when we run this scan, remember this is the slope over the 10 days, so there might be a dip in a price increase or something like that, but overall you should see the trend as an upward trend for the stock. So let's go ahead and look at, let me go ahead and filter out. So let's look at Amazon as an example. I know it's a, unless you're super wealthy, this is one that is pretty pricey in terms of buying one stock. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look. And you can see immediately that the stock is in an uptrend, and it's been in an uptrend for more than 10 days, but at least 10 days ago up till now, you see that the trading price has increased. But that's not what this indicator is actually showing us. The indicator is showing us that the volume over the last 10 days, one has, if we, over the last 10 days, if we averaged it out, it is in an uptrend, right? So we can't see it here because we're looking at bar graph. But one of the things that we know about volume is that when volume increases, often trading price increases as well. Not always, but often. So here's one example, like we're seeing the trading price increase, and that's what we're kind of looking for as well. If we look at our other indicators, we see the similar trend. So let's look at one more stock. Let's take a look at AAPT, All American Pet Company. Actually, no, let's look at one that is not necessarily that low. Let's look at Apple. We know Apple is going to give us something recognizable. Okay, so here's another example. Although we can't see that the net slope for these bar graphs is positive, what we can see is that the price has increased over at least the last 10 days, right? This last day it dipped, but like we said, we're looking at volume, and we're looking at volume over time, right? And cumulative volume over time. But this, I hope, is helpful. You can look further out. One thing to note here as well is the overall trend is upward. But if we were to go out further enough, we might be able to see, like if we were to look at, let's say we were looking at February and we went all the way out till November, we would see that uptrend, right? But maybe if we were looking at March and we were looking out 30 days or 45 days, we might, this particular stock might not pop up because it was in a downtrend. So certain things to note. And if you look at the volume, you'll see there's more red here, which is not an indicator of a growing volume, but an indicator of a decreasing or shrinking volume. So I hope that's helpful. We'll have more videos on this, but yeah, take care, everyone.